She had forgotten what it felt like to be startled by kindness. The moment his hand brushed against hers, it wasn't the touch itself that shook her, it was the sudden remembering of a woman she used to be. Lena froze, her fingers curled stiffly around the chipped coffee mug. The cafe was loud, filled with the clatter of dishes and murmured conversations, yet everything inside her went silent. The young man standing across the counter looked equally startled. "I'm so sorry," he said quickly. "I didn't mean to." "It's fine," she interrupted, pulling her hand back as if it had touched fire. But it wasn't fine. Not really. Lena was 46 years old, widowed for 7 years, and expertly practiced at emotional distance. She had turned survival into a routine: wake up, go to work, come home, sleep. Love, longing, softness, those belonged to another lifetime. Or so she told herself. Until that moment. Eli had started working at the cafe 2 weeks earlier. He was 27, all nervous smiles and careful manners, with the kind of warmth that didn't demand attention yet somehow filled a room. Lena noticed him the way she noticed weather, briefly, without attachment. Or at least she thought she did. After that day, something shifted. He began remembering her order. He asked how her day was and waited for the answer. When she mentioned she used to paint, his eyes lit up as if she'd handed him something valuable. "You should start again," he said one afternoon, as he slid her coffee across the counter. Lena almost laughed at the absurdity of it. Start again. As if life were a paused song, waiting patiently for her to press play. She went home that night and cried in the dark, angry at herself for feeling anything at all. The challenge came quickly, as challenges always do when something fragile begins to grow. The age gap stared back at her every time she caught herself smiling over something Eli said. She imagined the looks, the whispers. She imagined explaining herself to people who had long stopped asking how she felt. And worse than that was the guilt. Her husband, Mark, had been her great love. Losing him had carved something hollow and sharp inside her chest. Allowing herself to feel again felt like betrayal, as if loving someone else meant erasing him. So she pulled back. She shortened conversations. She stopped meeting Eli's eyes. She even skipped the cafe for several days, walking an extra 3 blocks to avoid it. Eli noticed. When she finally returned, he didn't push. He just said, "It's good to see you," softly, like it mattered. That night, Lena admitted the truth to herself for the first time. She wasn't afraid of Eli. She was afraid of herself, afraid of hope, of vulnerability, of discovering that her heart had survived when she had been certain it hadn't. The second challenge came from Eli's past. One rainy evening, when the cafe was nearly empty, Lena stayed longer than usual. The windows fogged over, trapping them in a small, fragile world. "My last relationship ended badly," Eli said suddenly, his fingers tracing circles on the counter. "She said I was looking for something that didn't exist. Something real." Lena felt the weight of his words settle between them. He wasn't chasing distraction. He wasn't looking for novelty. He was looking for connection. And Lena wasn't sure she could offer that, not without breaking something in both of them. "I don't know if I'm capable of what you deserve," she said quietly. Eli met her gaze, steady and calm. "I'm not asking for everything. Just honesty." That honesty would cost her. The third challenge came from within, sharpest of all. Old grief resurfaced without warning. Some nights she dreamed of Mark, woke up reaching for someone who no longer existed. Other nights she lay awake questioning whether she had any right to happiness after loss. She nearly ended things before they began. But then came the moment that changed everything. Lena finally invited Eli into her home, not as a lover, but as a witness. The walls were lined with unfinished canvases, dust-covered and forgotten. Evidence of dreams abandoned. "I used to think love ended when Mark died," she said, her voice trembling. "I told myself that chapter was closed." Eli gently touched one of the canvases. His hand was warm, grounding. "Love doesn't close chapters," he said. "It changes handwriting." She cried then, not the quiet, swallowed tears she had mastered, but deep, shaking sobs. Eli didn't try to fix it. He simply held her, his arms firm and patient. His touch didn't erase her past. It made room for it. The resolution didn't come in a dramatic declaration or a perfect ending. It came in small, deliberate choices. Lena chose to paint again. Chose to show up emotionally, even when it scared her. Chose to believe that love wasn't something you used up, it was something you grew into, again and again. Eli chose patience. He chose respect. He chose to walk beside her, not ahead of her. They faced judgment. They faced doubt. They faced nights when the fear felt louder than the joy. But they also faced mornings filled with laughter, conversations that stretched until sunrise, and a sense of peace neither of them had known before. Lena learned that healing doesn't mean forgetting pain. It means allowing something new to stand beside it. And when people asked her what changed, she never mentioned his age or the moment their hands touched. She said this instead. I remembered who I was before I was afraid to feel.